I think I am live. Could be, could not be. Facebook has been a bit of a shitbag today. Either way, I think I'm live. So this is not the announcement post that I posted about last night. That will be a little live video later on this evening. This is another video in the struggle series. Okay, I'm going to be talking about confidence today because I see a lot of people are struggling with confidence, so I thought it'd be worth covering for you today. So I think confidence in itself is a weird thing. People have this very black and white view of it, in that you either have it or you don't have it. They think it's a characteristic that you're born with, when in reality it's actually a learned trait. So any personality trait can be changed. People think they are slaves to their personality. They think, well, that's just the way I am, which is bullshit, because everything about you is changeable. Everything. Anyone who knew me 15 years ago and knows me now will be able to tell you that there is a dramatic difference, and it really is quite astounding. And it's not just to the outside world, but it's also how I feel. As a child, I was painfully shy. I would never ever want to put my hand up in class, even if I knew the answers. I'd hate having to do the school plays. I was always the kid that was like, can I just open and close the curtains? Because I did not want people looking at me. I just had no confidence at all. I hated being the center of attention, which I still do, to be fair, but that's less of a confidence thing and more of an interest thing. I just didn't want anyone looking at me because I had no confidence. I was always fearful of being judged. I was scared of what they would think. And most of it came from watching my mum during those formative years, because she still maintains to this day that she's a very, very unconfident person. So naturally, I mirrored that and I became unconfident too, to the point where I believed it about myself. And it's not a criticism of my mum at all. I think being a parent is the hardest thing that you can ever do. And overall, my parents did a fantastic job. I'm sure you'll agree. They laid the foundations, and then the things that weren't serving me, the things that I didn't like or wasn't happy with, I went on to either change or learn to accept. Because confidence is a twofold approach. It comes largely from self-acceptance, but also with a touch of competency thrown in. Competency is something that you can only get by doing. So if you think about something that you're really good at, a skill or a hobby or anything like that, something that you're good at, if I said to you, do it right now, you could do it and you'd feel confident in your ability to perform and to do what I'd asked you to do, because you've done it so many times before. You've become highly competent. But if I asked you to do something that you'd never done before, something that was really far removed from anything you'd ever done or anything you usually do, then you're going to feel far less confident. So confidence is changeable. It varies based on the circumstances and the requirements. But there's a big lesson within that, okay? Because life is a set of changeable circumstances. Sometimes you're going to have to do things you're not good at. You're going to find yourself in situations that make you uncomfortable and that are outside of your usual world. And in that case, competency can't help you, but self-acceptance can. Because there's no way you can ever be good at absolutely everything. It's just not possible. There's too much in the world. There's too many things. But if you have a level of self-acceptance and you're very accepting of yourself, then you're open to being incompetent. You're open to your own incompetencies. And that puts you in a fantastic position to be able to do things anyway. There's this massive comfort in self-acceptance. And it's far more reliable than relying on your skill and your competency levels. It's like saying, I have all of these skills, but I'm open to learning more by putting myself in situations that require me to demonstrate my own incompetency so that I may improve and I may grow and I may learn and blah, 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 blah. Because when you can be unapologetically yourself, confidence comes really easily. It's a byproduct of that level of self-acceptance. And self-acceptance is an absolutely huge topic, and I do cover this a little bit in our 12 Weeks to Limitless program, so I'm not going to go into this now. I'm not going to tell you what to do or anything like that, but I want you to grasp this and understand that it's very important. And within the realms of confidence, you'll never have true confidence without that level of self-acceptance. So your competence is just your starting point, because it's only ever going to get you so far. You need that self-acceptance. If you layer those two together, fantastic. You'll often see that there are people who are really overconfident, the ones who seem like they can do anything. They're confident about anything and everything. Often, if someone is too overt in a trait and they're too extreme with it, it's usually out of an effort to try and make themselves believe that they are that thing, like a fake it till you make it attitude, because it makes them feel better. But the thing there is, if you don't truly feel that way, then you're never going to believe it, no matter how much you try and exaggerate it. Those exaggerations are an attempt to force themselves into believing it, where you can't force a belief. The only way to make a belief a reality is to feel it, okay? And then to have that repetition of that feeling over and over again. So it's not a case of seeing is believing, it's a case of feeling is believing. Because there's nothing more powerful than how you think and how you feel. And if you can command those two things, then you can become limitless and you can have it all in your life, which is something I'm going to tell you more about in my announcement later on. So please make sure you are following me on this page, on the Project Tempest page, if you prefer Instagram on there, whatever, just make sure you're following so that you can keep up to date with all of that stuff. That's everything for today. Short and sweet, much like me. I do have a few more topics that I plan on covering, so if there is something you want me to cover in this series, please let me know, either via message or as a little comment on here. So that's everything. Have a great day and keep your eyes open for a little notification that tells you when I go live later on this evening. See you all later.